What is going on, guys? Today we got a fun episode for you. Okay, to start off, got to take care of some formal business just to let you guys know what's going on. Elliot Wolf, our director of player personnel, was talking to the media today, and he could confirm he will be the guy that makes the final pick in the NFL draft for us. Couple of refreshing things that Bill, the general manager, got some constructive criticism for over his tenure with us, to say. Wolf will be changing the grading system that scouts use to review players and potential prospects. It will be similar to the one that that Elliot Wolf used in Green Bay during his time there. The Packers do have a successful rate of drafting since Wolf has been there, so that was great to hear. Wolf also said he wants to be more collaborative between the front office and him and the scouts. More communication. None of this small circle crap that Bill Belichick was doing for years. It's going to be communication, communication, communication. He also has a goal to build within. He said he wants to develop young players that they draft and rely on them to play. This means making rookies get as many snaps as they can, and develop them that way. With that being said, it probably means that he's not going to spend a crazy amount of money. You're not going to see everyone that you want to see re-signed, and you're not going to see those top-tier free agents all coming our ways. With that being said, I am fully prepared to give you the best way I think we can spend our money this off-season. Get ready. Patriots have over $87 million in cap space. That's good for, I believe it's second in the league, second highest. But that's far from the top potential amount of money they could use. First off, cutting J.C. Jackson. Now, we got J.C. Jackson for basically nothing. We traded a 6th rounder and received a 7th round pick along with J.C. Jackson. So we basically just moved back around for J.C. Jackson. Didn't take on any of his contract for the remainder of last year, but now we are going to owe him about $14-15 million next year. Cutting his contract, which we never even wanted to give to him in the first place, that's why he signed with the Chargers, would save us a little under $13.4 million. And that's not to say that J.C. Jackson won't be back on a restructured deal, but he's not nearly worth that $13.4 million we can save by cutting him. Another guy you may like, you may barely know him, Devon Godchaux, our defensive tackle. He signed a 2-year extension last year when Bill was in charge. He was a great starter for us, but really just a run stopper, a guy that eats blocks. He's nothing crazy. Cutting him would make $3.5 million in dead cap space, but would save us $8.3 million in savings. This is another guy, maybe like JC, maybe come back on a different deal. I don't see that happening. I think our money would be better spending somewhere else, or on a different player, I should say. Hint, hint, for what's coming later this episode. Another guy, Marco Wilson, cornerback, guy that we claimed off of waivers, I believe from the Cardinals. That was after J.C. Jackson got injured, when we had no cornerbacks, defensive backs on our roster towards the end of the season. You might remember him. He played minimally, but had a play or two in the couple games he played. Now, this move would cause no dead cap cutting him, but it would save us $3.37 million. Now, in my opinion, if you cut guys like Lawrence Guy and Adrian Phillips to save $6 million total, why are you not cutting Godchaux and Wilson, two guys that'll save you even more money and probably just as good as the other two guys that you cut. The only thing is, Godcha and Wilson can be cut past the June 1st deadline for no additional dead cap. So that might be the only reason you see them past that June 1st deadline. What happens there, it's kind of a long story, but to keep it short, the money that goes towards your dead cap increases over seasons instead of dealing with it just in one off season. So it's just tougher to move on from a guy's contract if you cut him past that deadline. My thought is, why not just cut him now and get the money now, spend it on current free agents. Now, if you cut these players, Jackson, Godcha, and Wilson, you add around $25 million in cap space, and now you're working around over about $112 million in cap space. Are you kidding me? $112 million to spend on whoever you want. Who can't you sign at that point? That's like a very general number. Again, I'm no accountant. I don't run the books for the Patriots, but through my math, through my research, that's what we're going to be dealing with around, give or take a couple mil. But still, probably over $110 million. Now, here are some players that don't make sense for us to cut, and you're going to love this list. First off, Juju Smith-Schuster. Cutting him would save us a little under $2 million, but then you're dealing with $12.3 million in dead cap. So that's just a waste of money. As terrible as Juju was last year for us, it's not even worth that dead cap space for that not even $2 million. Another guy, same position, who we all love, Devontae Parker. Cutting him, you would be dealing with $6.3 million in dead cap space, and then the amount you save is next to nothing. It's probably enough to pay for 2 janitors at Gillette Stadium, to be honest. It's nothing. I think the number was like $140,000, $150,000, so not worth it there either. Now, you can trade these players and save a little bit more money. Probably split it like half and half between money saved and dead cap money. Is it worth it? Maybe. Just to get him off the roster, honestly, because hopefully we'll be drafting a wide receiver. You don't need them. But on the other side, who the hell is going to want to trade for Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Parker? Now, on to the more fun stuff for me. Since we have all that money to spend, I'm going to go over some people I want to re-sign that are on the Patriots and then some free agent targets. First off, we'll start with the less exciting guys. Farrell Brown. He's looking at a 1-year, $2.5 million contract. Basically, your third string tight end, lock it in. I think we have one random tight end on our roster right now who's of no help. Farrell Brown's not going to go out there and get 30 catches this year and maybe not even 10, but he's a great blocker. Great blocker on that offensive line when we need that extra blocker in the run game. And he does have the ability to go out there and be a big target if needed. Now, same position, more of a receiver. Hunter Henry, bring him back. He's a leader for this locker room. He's helped tremendously in the passing game. Well, not tremendously, but he has helped. He's a leader in the locker room, and honestly, he's just a reliable target for a young quarterback or a rookie cornerback. Wink, wink. Bring him back, 3-year, $30 million deal. That's pretty generous. We have so much money to spend. I mean, I was generous with all of these deals, I think. But yeah, I put down 3-year, $30 million, $10 million a year. Probably gets less than that in the long run, but we have the money to spend. Why not spend it? Third, Mike Onwenu. Yep, he's back. 5 years, $82.5 million. That's $16.5 million per year. Mike Onwenu is going to get paid a lot of money because of his versatility. The way the NFL works with offensive linemen, the more positions you can play, especially the outside positions, and then the left side, you get paid a lot more. And when you started off as a right guard, proved his worth there, bumped out to right tackle, proved his worth there. He's reliable. He can play left guard, and we've yet to see if he can play left tackle. But still, if you can throw him in at 3 out of the 5 positions on the offensive line and feel comfortable with him being out there, you're going to have to pay him a lot. So I got him at $16.5 a year. That puts him at least in the top 10, I believe, of highest paid offensive linemen, which is, I think, fair. He hasn't been to a Pro Bowl yet, no, but he's basically that type of caliber player, and like I said, he can play all over the place. Next, Kyle Duggar. I think it's pretty easy to bring him back. 4 years, $60 million. People have him going for more than that. I looked at safeties that have around that salary, and he's not at that point where you can pay him 17, 18 mil a year, I don't think. I think 4 years, $60 million is fair. He has the versatility to come down into the front 7, play that strong safety position, or even linebacker, honestly, in some scenarios, and has that coverage ability to play free safety. He's a big hitter, and he's a glue guy for your defense. So I think that would be a great re-signing. Definitely a guy I want to see back here. I did leave off Josh Uche. I'll get to that later on why I did. But if you want to re-sign Uche, go for it. If that's your desire, if you think we can do it, sure. I didn't see it. I think we have more needs other than signing him. If anything, I would give Judon a better contract for this year, maybe even a contract extension. And then you have Keon White, who we drafted last year. Didn't do much in his rookie season last year, but he didn't get a lot of opportunities to. He did put up some decent snaps when he did get in there, but I'm leaning on him to step up and be more of a player for us this year. I hate to see Uche go, but I don't think the money was worth it there with him. Now, moving on to free agents that we can sign from different teams. First off, Tyrod Taylor, just as a backup quarterback. I really want to say good riddance to both Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. Tyrod Taylor plays a similar style to the quarterback I want to draft at the number 3 overall pick. You can put 2 and 2 together. I'm talking about Jaden Daniels. And yeah, Tyrod Taylor is like, he knows his role as a veteran backup at this point in his career, I believe. You can snag him for like 3 or 4 mil a year, cheap, and he's going to help develop whoever is your rookie quarterback. Next up, tackle from the Bengals, Jonah Williams, offensive tackle. Williams, a guy that we have been connected to since the beginning of the offseason. I wrote it down as a 5-year, $60 million deal. If you do some research, you probably see a little less of a number. But I figured with the market on tackles this offseason, along with that bump in cap space or salary cap for all teams, he's going to get a little bit more money than what you see on the internet. So I got him down for $12 million a year. Great thing with him, he's got experience at left tackle and right tackle. He started off his career at left tackle. The Bengals signed Orlando Brown as their left tackle and moved Williams to the right tackle, where he spent last year. After that happened, he did request a trade and ended up just sticking with the Bengals, which means 2 things. He's probably ready to move on from Cincinnati, and also he probably wants to go back to that left tackle position. Whether he is desired to play left tackle or he wants to stick at right tackle. Either way, he's an upgrade for us on that offensive line. We need it as much as possible. With that being said, he is 26 years old, so he's still really young, and he was a first-round pick out of Alabama in 2019. So he has potential to even get better, be a Pro Bowl caliber type player. And with that signing, you now have Mark Andrews, you have Onwenu, and you now have Williams. So you have 3 of those 5 positions on that offensive line locked down. I see us drafting at least another offensive lineman in the draft. There we go. So that settles that problem. Now, this is 2 interesting signings that I love and I want to go after. First off, wide receiver Tyler Boyd. He has been living in the shadow of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase for the past couple years. He's older. He's 29 years old. Before the Bengals had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, he was a 1,000-yard wide receiver twice. He's proven that when one of them is out, he can step up and play in that wide receiver 2 role. So I don't see why we wouldn't want to sign him. He's a veteran. He's reliable. You can get him for cheaper than a lot of these wide receivers this year are going for. It's a big market for wide receivers this year. You can steal Tyler Boyd away from that market. 3-year, $36 million contract. I have him at $12 million a year. And only because you got guys like Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley, all free agents, all going to get paid more than him most likely. And he really hasn't lived up to his contract he got when he re-signed with the Bengals 4 years ago. He signed a 4-year, $43 million contract extension before the 2019 season and did not do much with it. I think it's time for him to go. Bengals seem to be moving on from him. I think he'd be a perfect fit for a rookie quarterback. Here's my favorite signing. Now, this is all contingent on us cutting Godshaw and willing to spend a lot of money on one position. But hey, we have the money to do it, why not? I think it would be great if we signed Miami Dolphins defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. You guys might have seen my post on Instagram that had Jonah Williams and Christian Wilkins seen as great targets for the Patriots. Like I said, I do think it's a little far-fetched, but I would love it. It solidifies not only your defensive line, but your whole defense. This makes him, I forget if I just said it, 5 years, $100 million contracts, $20 million a year. Based off of average annual salary, that puts him at the 7th highest paid interior defensive lineman behind DeForest Buckner. Wilkins is a Pro Bowl caliber player. He had 9 sacks last season, which was a big improvement from his previous years. And he's just tremendous in the run game. He can line up basically anywhere between the center all the way to the inside of the tackle position. Very versatile. And what I love the most about him is he's a native of Springfield, Massachusetts. So this would be his hometown team. Just a great personality as well. So that solidifies, say they roll with this team. You have across your defense, Judon, Barmore, Wilkins, Keon White or Dietrich Wise Jr., whoever you want to put there. This thing is linebacker is going to be a little bit tough. But you still have Jelani Tavai. Anthony Jennings is a free agent, so I did not have him being re-signed there. But you also have at the linebacker position, you got some young players there still. You got Jawan Bentley, you got Mac Wilson, who also needs to be re-signed, I believe. And then you also, at corner, got Jonathan Jones back, Marcus Jones. Of course, you got Christian Gonzalez back. Depending on what you do with J.C. Jackson, he could be here or there. You don't know. And then with the safeties, you got Kyle Duggar re-signed, and you got Jabril Peppers. Jalen Mills is also a free agent, so you could be with him or without him. You don't know, but still, that defense, you're probably looking at a top 5 unit right there. Maybe top 10, I'll say, to keep it safe. And as far as the offense goes, now your offensive line is looking like David Andrews, Mike Onwenu, Jonah Williams on the right side, and then Cole Strange probably going to start at left guard. We know he hasn't really lived up to that hype as a first overall pick. Bill Belichick thought he was doing something crazy there, steal of the draft, whatever. It has not worked out. Left tackle, a little up for debate right now. Could see Jonah Williams there. If we do sign him, I'm also expecting us to draft a tackle in the draft. So we'll see how that works. And then as far as your receivers go, I did not have us re-signing Kendrick Bourne, although I really wanted to. But we get a great receiver in Tyler Boyd. You have Pop Douglas coming back. And then, unfortunately, you have Devontae Parker and Juju. Again, I'm expecting us to also draft a wide receiver this year. And again, great wide receiver class. Will be interesting. Another thing I wanted to do was have us trade for Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers. However, he's probably going to go for a first and a second round pick, not one or the other, and both of them. So it just didn't make sense to me to do that. We have too much needs. But all of these moves together safely leaves you, again, I'm not the accountant running the books for the Patriots, but from what I could do, this safely leaves you, I can confidently say, with about $18 to $20 million to play with. I'm sorry, no, about 15 to 18 to play with. I forgot to account for Tyrod Taylor in there. Whatever you want to do, save it for the season, which is always smart to have a little bit extra money. Go for it. Other than that, you can restructure Matt Judon's contract, and some guys you can look to extend who are going to be free agents next year. Jonathan Jones, Jabril Peppers, Jelani Tavai, and Ramondre Stevenson. Jones, Peppers, and Tavai makes sense to me. Stevenson, the way the NFL works now, you don't see running backs that are at his level of play really getting contract extensions unless we can get it for cheap. Usually you only see like the top 3 running backs in the league getting those contract extensions. Unfortunately, that's just the way the NFL works. We'll see. But those are some options for the Patriots to do with the remainder of the cap space there. If this is what happens, I believe we automatically become playoff contenders with a young team that is promising, that you can develop and be competitive for years. Mayo said he's ready to burn cash. Elliott Wolf said he's ready to spend money on free agents. Let's make it happen. I'm sick and tired of being the joke of the league. I'm ready to step it up and be back in the playoffs like we always have been for the past 20 years. We'll see what they do. It's coming up. Franchise tag deadline is the 5th, I believe. We could see someone get tagged by then. If not, the draft is coming up, free agency is starting, and there's a lot that's going to happen for the Patriots. I'll keep you updated. Until next time, I'll catch you later.